Welcome everybody to the Onward VR Master League Season 12, Week 3. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's. I'm joined by my co-caster, 1UC. Luke, how are you feeling today?
Man, I'm feeling excited, man. This is my first VRML Onward cast, and man, I'm expecting big things, you know?
Absolutely. It is certainly a very hype matchup that we're tuning in here to today. VR Loyal Dogs versus MANCOSVR, a duel of the Spanish squads in the EU side of things. We've seen already, I believe, one of the Spanish teams at least playing Mancos BT. That was certainly fun to tune into, and we love to see the community come in from the Spanish side of things. We may even look into onboarding Spanish casters and have them cast games in Spanish. I mean, wouldn't that be sweet, Luke?
It certainly would, and one of the great things I love about VRML just in general is, is the community, right? I mean, it's for the community, made by the community, and supported by the community, really. So yeah, I mean, if we were able to onboard some Spanish casters or simply just, more various different cultures and whatnot, it's always exciting to see and always exciting to watch.
Yeah, we've had interest from the French community as well about jumping in and casting games in French. So there's a lot of very cool things that we are working on. We'll hopefully get those set up. But for now, we get to at least cast the this mid-afternoon game for myself. I suppose a late-night matchup for the EU squad over there across the pond. But either way, should be an interesting one to tune into. And for those that aren't familiar with the whole system here, VR Loyal Dogs are home, MANCOSVR are away. Each team gets to ban a map in our designated map pool for the season. That does rotate throughout the course of the season, changes, and so teams end up playing different maps throughout one single season. But regardless, home team gets to ban a map, away team gets to ban a map. VR Loyal Dogs banning Subway, and MANCOSVR banning Sand. And so we've gotten rid of some close quarters maps there. That does leave us with a bit more of a longer range map pool available. And so I'm looking at maps like Quarantine, Snow Peak, Shipyard even, with some of its longer range angles. And to no surprise, I suppose, well, maybe the surprise of some watching, but map 1 is going to be Quarantine. And so, as you can, it's always fun to look at these bans and map picks, Luke, and see how they are, what's influencing them. Why is Subway banned? Why is Sand banned? And I always tend to go to the style of the map, and both of those maps are close quarters. Quarantine, however, as I'm sure you can see flying around, is a much larger map. Definitely has a lot of long range, and I think you dropped into a match just the other day that had a great bit of back and forth on this map, where we saw a lot of sniper shots come in, so I think we could be ready for some range,
Exactly, and I think that slow tactical pace is one of those things that kind of brings out the beauty of Onward, the realistic aspect of it, the back and forth, and yeah, I mean, we saw some really cool attacks. The pincer strat coming up from somebody yesterday. Not quite. I don't remember which.
I know,
team
I can't even
played,
either.
To be honest, but,
I can't even either. I casted it, so.
But the point is that there's a lot more space to be tactical, in my opinion, in these kind of slower maps, and there's more options, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. But I think that time will only tell.
Oh man, and we're popping into the action here. No more waiting. Round 1 kicking off, in a very active Manco squad. I mean, I just hovered over there. I have no idea what they're saying. I can't translate, but the comms loud and seemingly serious. I don't know. Do you, 1UC, do you have any Spanish in the arsenal?
Oh man, I mean, I technically should. My mom's Spanish, my family's Spanish, but I never learned Spanish, so nope.
Okay.
I can tell you about a basic conversation. That's about it. But yeah, I'm excited to get into the action here.
Yes, indeed. Bernie going for a very aggressive defensive rollout. They have pushed themselves all the way up to this northeast corner, and it may pay off. I mean, it could certainly catch some loyal dogs unexpected, but it's very risky in that it is so far away from this objective. It would take a very long rotation to get all the way back and be able to defend. And I am interested in this position. It could pay off, but again, it's all a matter of how that west approach works, and already some shots coming in on that west side. Oxer is trying to catch that 2-story shot and can't land it.
Yeah, trying to find those long angles, but this is exactly what we were talking about, right? It's the slower, longer range gameplay that we're expecting to see from this map, and we're already right in it. But, you know, one of the main things that I always love seeing from these teams is the constant reposition, the constantly changing of strategies. You shoot, but now, you know, they know that position's infiltrated, so they're moving around, they're trying to find a new angle to really try to get that advantage.
Yeah, and speaking of new angles, you have the likes of Chihuahua, who was up on that second story, temporarily dropped down. It actually is rotating around on that bottom floor, kind of hunting for Oxers who made their position known on that west side. It is a little bit risky to take those kind of early shots on that west side, but I think they would have gone down had they not suppressed that two-story position. And so, if anything, maybe it's opened up this west entry a little bit for Loyal Dogs, but you know, we have to keep our attention split. We got to keep an eye on the Loyal Dog push on the west because they're also working their way ever closer to Bernie over on the east as well. And Bernie may actually find some kills soon enough here.
Yeah, it looks like they will. I mean, they're slowly implementing on that position. I mean, it is worth noting they also do have the numbers advantage. I don't know how much that may or may not be taken advantage of, but at least some safety between Gary and Donnie. But Bernie, I mean, it's this tight angles. We saw some of those amazing tight angles yesterday with like only inches to spare, people dodging each other. But I mean, it looks like Gary's about to peak. So this is going to be the moment. Ow, and Gary does not have the advantage that time. Bernie got one on Gary, but Donnie is still around the corner. Let's see if Bernie can get the second.
Yeah, Bernie did get tagged there. You see the heal come through, and Donnie is swinging while that heal is coming in, and down goes Bernie. A good reaction, and there's that numbers advantage you're talking about coming in. Donnie able to get that refrag. It does actually also result in another loss on the other side. Looks like Chihuahua catches one on that bottom floor, and Hekain's looking for the refrag here. If Chihuahua's not ready for this bottom floor pusher, it very well could be an easy refrag, and we could be into a 3v3, but for now, Mancos have a slight advantage in the numbers.
Yeah, numbers advantage for sure. Also, hey, how's it going, Embolism? What's the wrong catchphrase? Tell me, I want to improve. But Chihuahua finding, oh gosh, Geweko?
Yeah,
I hope that's right.
I remember reading this one too the other, I think I was going with Gauko, you know, and it's just who.
Gauko, yeah.
I don't. No one's corrected me. I need someone to type it out phonetically if they're familiar with the name, how the heck it's supposed to be said. But that's what I'm going with for now.
There we go. But Chihuahua's still there. We have Hekini. I mean, he's just waiting, trying to play that patient game, trying to catch off Chihuahua maybe on the rotate. But is he moving slow enough there's no footsteps? No. Actually, maybe.
Yeah.
So maybe Hekine can sneak up. But Donnie's doing work already on Dax on the other side. And
that's
man,
objective side.
That's still a 3v2. Yeah.
I mean, Donnie has control of objective side here. No one has eyes on Donnie's position. He could prone up to the objective and punch in this code, and it's a 2v3, almost a 1v3, as you do have Chihuahua waiting, it seems, for this rotation from Hekain to come through. But there's smokes coming out on OBJ, and Scassi has to swing and rotate here. Donnie nearly gets tagged. Scassi's here to try and find the shots in a trade on that north side. We have to pop back over to Hekain as they're the last survivor into the 1v2.
Yeah, in that 1v2, and it all comes down to this right now, as Hekaini is totally getting pressured. But definitely hears this footsteps. The question is, can he get there first? Can he read the play? But again, just the slow play, the disciplined play, you know, coming from this VR Loyal Dogs side. But maybe the peak, but too late.
Definitely a risky peak to go for. And during this chaos, the res hasn't come through on Scassi because there is smokes on objective. And Asturias had to push over to objective side to make sure there was no caps coming through, make sure nothing nefarious was going on. And so Hekain has kind of slipped through the cracks in some ways. Chihuahua is going to rotate around, and I'm sure that Scassi has a line here and can see Hekain pushing up. They could be radioing in this information to the team. And yeah, you can see Asturias is dialed into this corner. Ooh, there's the shots, and actually a big pickup from Hekain. They go up to the top floor, and now they're going to be almost in an ambush position.
Yeah, almost. And Hekain finishing or downing Scassi, but it's a one-on-one. I mean, Loyal Dogs are still in this. Don't count them out. Hekaini trying to find it, but the noise?
Yeah.
Oh, no noise.
Chewbacca may have heard that drop down, and it's the very least, I think Scansy called it out. They're going to go for the drop shot on the corner. The trade Mancos. Oh my goodness. The 1v1 ends in a trade. I mean, you can't ask for a closer start to this series, Luke. Literally, the last two trading and Mancos coming out in the split second on top.
Yeah, I mean, you have to shout out a great job there from Hakaini. I mean,
Yep.
You know what? You may have lost that round, but I mean, what a way to do it. Definitely making MANCOSVR work for it.
Yep.
But yeah, MANCOS does have that numbers advantage, and at the end of the day, does run away with the 1-0.
Taking a gander at the folks tuning in and hanging out. We appreciate everyone stopping by. There was a big vote count for this one on the VRML.com/onward website. One of the reasons that I did want to pick it up. So I'm glad to see a ton of folks tuning in. Ruchi VR, Jolk, Tava. Man, these names today, huh? Tavak. If I only I knew Spanish. Natty Rid, I can get that one. Turkey Man, Embolism, XNVKTTG. We appreciate all of you all dropping in and hanging out for today's action. I mean, shoot, certainly looking to be a heck of a barn burner so far. A great bit of trading going on there, some interesting rotations, some quiet stealth swings, and I mean, nearly a drop shot win off that high angle. That's always a cool way to lock in a round, but not quite.
It always is. I mean, style points are certainly good, and,
Yep.
I mean, if nothing else, it certainly shows the tenacity of both these teams. We're going to head into the second round here in just a second, but the style points, they may not have won, but it means the mental game's still there. So I mean, let's see what we can do here in the second round.
Yeah, when you talk about the mental game, I think one thing I always like to talk about is getting kills. It's a lot harder to lose a round and not even have your team pick up any kills, but because that round came down to the 1v1 and it was very close, you see you have some spread there. Loyal Dogs with 2 onto Donnie, 3 onto Hakain, but over on Mancos, everyone kind of getting a bit of the action. And so it just kind of helps your whole team get loose, and I wonder how Mancos will be looking going into their attack here. It's looking right now, looking at taking a gander at the overhead. They're going to favor a very heavy west push because they got that gas station spawn.
Yeah, and they're going to pretty much run into this one. A similar positioning as some shots fired already there from Gary, but not quite finding anything, just some cover fire perhaps. But I mean, a very different strategy coming out from MANCOSVR.
Yeah.
Before, I mean, we saw the 2-2 split, so to speak. But Hakaini, getting pressured early on from Dax, but Dax unfortunately not going to find the angle, but very unsmartly.
Yeah, and that LMG fire giving themselves away on that second floor. Not exactly a safe space to be in. While Bernie Sr. was supposed to have Overwatch, they didn't have the angle into that 2-story, and so a kill comes in from the defense of Loyal Dogs, and this west side is still pushing up. Regardless of the outcome, they're continuing to charge forward here. Gary has an angle down this long line. Astorius is going to challenge it, and they can't connect on the shots.
Yeah, it's so close right now. I mean, certainly more of a pointed arrow attack, just to push in. It doesn't matter the numbers if we can get the position. I mean, MANCOS has the position that I assume they wanted.
Yeah.
They're just kind of getting shot at from all angles. Scassi trying to find an angle on Gary, but no dice. Gary rotates as he re-peaks. Maybe Gary trying to find it, get some shots off, but no, not quite connecting.
In all this chaos, you have Donnie capable of dropping off and flanking these two as well, and so there's risk in this push. In the meantime, on the other side, Hakain scoops up another, and so it's just up to these 3 on the west side. Still no kills coming in from Mancos, but they are managing to kind of slip through the cracks of this defense as Scassi gets behind.
Yeah, they're behind the defense. I mean, Scassi is the one to watch right now. He might be able to catch if I'm Donnie, who is maybe going to peek this corner, but no. I mean, yeah, he will. Donnie, I mean, is he going to peek? It's a 2-on-1. He peeks, but Donnie gets 1, and he gets 2.
Oh, my goodness.
And Scassi trades. I mean, wow, what a play.
I didn't even see Astor's on the backside there behind Donnie. A huge transfer there to get the double. Yeah, cuts Mancos down to 1. I'm getting info here. So we are getting some pronunciation help from chat. We appreciate you. Chewbacca. So kind of like Chewbacca, Not Chihuahua. I was going with Chewbacca, but Chewbacca is up here, and the last attacker for Mancos. A great defensive round from Loyal Dogs as they have everything they need on defense right now. All 4 left alive. Hakai spotting the rooftop, taking the shots, and with 3 up, they take their defensive round. Maybe we're in store for that. Maybe we are just going to be trading these defensive rounds here to kick off this series. I'm not sure. Map 1, though, man, this is what I this is what I tune in for. The good bit of back and forth. Things are about to be getting competitive.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, you can see who picked this. Who picked first map? Was it MANCOS or was it Loyal Dogs?
Loyal Dogs.
Well, okay, that's interesting because I mean, coming from this last round, you can see, MANCOS probably preferring those close quarter combats because I mean, the overwhelming with numbers strategy that just kind of go arrowhead and follow up is exactly what they kind of tried to go for, but. It didn't quite work out because everyone on Loyal Dogs was just spaced out. They had multiple angles. They had, they had the firing lines. And at the end of the day, I mean, if you have those firing lines, if you have the safety, knowing that, somebody's watching your back, then, I mean, MANCOS unfortunately not quite finding success in the second round. But, I mean, yeah, we might be able to trade defensive rounds. That would certainly be fun to see this game go the distance.
Oh, yeah. That's what we tune in for, to see these 3-3s, these map 3 deciders, the round 7s. It's what I always love to catch, and I think every caster tunes in for that kind of action. But it is yet to be seen. If we're kind of analyzing everything, I think Loyal Dogs are looking a little bit better here. Obviously, their map pick, but their Marsoc round when they started, they nearly won that round. It came down to that 1-1 trade. And their defensive round did look better than the MANCOSVR defense. They had 3 left alive at the end of that round 2, and so we shift objectives now for round 3. We head over to the center of Quarantine. This is where things get a little bit different, a little bit, faster paced, as this north spawn coming through for Loyal Dogs is going to allow them to play very aggressive out the gate if they choose.
Yeah, I mean, they are the ones with the power of the attacking side. Yep. Get to choose, the strategy. They're still, spreading out now. What does it look like they're going to do? Well, it looks like it's definitely a lot more spread out, just like we saw in that round 1.
Yeah.
Although it didn't work out in their favor. So let's see if it works out here in round 3.
Does look like a pretty standard spread, too. Going to send 2 over to the west, 1 up to that rooftop position, kind of on the hunt for any early swings, anybody taking control of that south roof. And as they do, the rest of the team continues their move. It's pretty quick paced for their initial position. I just wonder, once they're set up, what the kind of execution is going to look like on this push. But so far, it's just setup phase for Loyal Dogs. No real anything crazy that I'm seeing. Oh, no. From the likes of MANCOS.
Finding Dax. Dax being the first to unfortunately perish in the last 2 rounds. So not able to see too much action from Dax here, as Hakani's looking for 1 more. Not able to connect with it, though. So, I mean, hey, already the early numbers advantage here from Loyal Dogs. Yeah,
and that is the on-objective, one of the key objective defenders there. They have very good vision all around and can hear any footsteps up onto the objective. I thought for a second it was maybe across the pond, but yeah, losing that on-objective defense is definitely hurts. They still obviously have their angles set up surrounding it, but there is some paths here that Loyal Dogs could take where they maybe actually be able to work their way up to that building undetected and cap. And I mean, speaking of undetected, Oxers flying around onto this far west edge, but you also obviously have the Kine working their way up to Chewbacca. We got it there the first time, and Chewbacca's going to find that kill.
Yeah, Chewbacca will find it, kind of getting the early one, so still traded for him, but now Chewbacca is getting pressured by Gary, able to sneak away off the 2-story, but he's on the ground, and I mean, Donnie's still there.
Yep.
And just like that, I mean, numbers advantage for Loyal Dogs.
Donnie now feeling confident off that kill, nearly gets scooped up. You can see the angle coming in from Scatsy there. They are in an off-meta position on that white car. Oftentimes you see the investment onto that wall. And so I don't think Donnie even looked at this white car here onto the corner. Scassy's still alive, but I don't know how long that'll last as Oxers on the back there.
Yeah, Oxer's catching it off. I mean, maybe that's why it's an off-meta position.
Yep.
Is the rotation. I mean, it's just easy. But Oxer's getting pressured here from the 2-story off Bernie. But Bernie, I mean, definitely giving away his position. Is he going to get punished for it? No. It seems like he's not going to rotate either, but that's going to be a punishment from Oxer's. Better late than never. And just like that, it's a 4v1.
And this is the push coming in from Loyal Dogs. Their offensive round looking great. Asturias has to swing and defend the objective all by himself. And I don't know if they're aware that there's so many Loyal Dogs with the tablet out punching in the code. Asturias draws the attention of what? They get a double, and Oxers has to get the kill. They cannot get those 2 points. And a fortunate defense there, really. I mean, that was a cap waiting to happen from Loyal. There's 4 people on the objective.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Just absolute incredible teamwork. I mean, great 2 picks, but hey, you know what? I mean, 4v1, it's not much you can do against that, but it's nevertheless a great job. I mean, looking at this, you know, kind of strategically, NightFiree, I mean, I look at Loyal Dogs, I see them constantly rotating, you know, they shoot. If they're able to get away unscathed, they reposition, right? I don't necessarily see that as much from MANCOSVR. I mean, how important do you think that is coming to this next round?
Yeah, I think that the attack is definitely going to be interesting here. You know, they had a planned strategy going in last round on their offense. You can see that full commitment to the west, that 4-man push onto the west side. But they gave away their position early with some gunfire, and that kind of, I wouldn't say squandered, but did sort of set up their west approach for failure. We see the spread paying off from Loyal Dogs, the flanks working dividends onto the west. I think maybe Mancos have to kind of attack this one a little bit more spread out. The trouble is that spread out style is very hard to actually execute on. It takes a lot of coordination, a lot of teamwork to really sync up and be able to all converge on the objective at the same time. But with this kind of spawn, Mancos very much can spread out. They can take control of the south and the north pretty quick, also work up through the center. These early crosses may actually lend to some action too if Gauco can check this line. And it's actually going to be, he almost gets tagged crossing themselves, a little bit of a counterfire. That gives away Mancos' spawn again, and information early here conveyed to the Loyal Dogs that Mancos has spawned in the center back of the map there.
Yeah, now it's a question of if they can take advantage of that information at all. It looks like they are going to try. We do see, who is that? We do see Donnie going for a really far rotation on the 2-story. Let's see if he can catch anybody off because it does look like there will be a rotation as well from, who is that? From Bernie. So Donnie and Bernie is certainly one to watch, but on the other side, we do have Chewbacca kind of slowly inching his way around this tank. I think if he can maybe catch off Gary, but I mean, very close angles right now.
Yeah, and it does look like Mancos are going for that surround approach. They've got that send up into that north side. Gauco getting pressured in the south. They are holding here, waiting for this push to kind of come through. And then Donnie and Bernie over in the north. It's, again, an approach that can work out very good here for Mancos if they can find the fix they need. And the firefight here in the north goes the way of Bernie Sr., as they'll be able to push up and have very good control, very good overwatch down into this objective side from that rooftop. It kind of puts all of Loyal Dogs on edge. Gauco actually drops off their position on the south, and maybe the south side can rotate in now.
Yeah, maybe they can, as they aren't. It just seems that Mancos is a little bit stuck. I mean, and as a result, Gauco is going to happily punish that. Downloading Scassi, does he realize that there's 2 more there? Probably not, but he's still watching it. But again, we see this Loyal Dogs constantly rotating, constantly repositioning, and just like that, I say it, and he does it, repositioning on that 2-story. Nevertheless, after getting the 1 kill.
Yeah, they realize that there is other angles that they can be checking. They can hold the center. They could actually catch Chewbacca out right now, and as they peek, they spot him. Chewbacca goes down with the sniper shots of Gauco. That's 2 for them on this rooftop, and Mancos are getting picked apart a little bit here by the likes of this rotating defender here on this hotel warehouse roof.
Yeah, I mean, and that I think is showing the power of those rotations. I mean, Loyal Dog still, Hugh, had the initial pick. Wait, am I backwards? No, I'm backwards. Yeah, they did have the initial pick.
Bernie
they picked
did.
up Dax first.
Yeah.
And they've just kept the numbers advantage throughout. But maybe Goeco now not rotating, but no, he's just on fire as they pick up another one, and just like that, it's a 4-on-2.
Really good shots coming in here from Gauco, playing some big rotations. Dax next up on the challenger list of Gauco. We'll see if they can add another kill to their count. They've already got 3. I think they're on track for the ace if this Mancos team keeps kind of flinging themselves at them. And it's really an important player to get rid of because they can't cross the street with any confidence otherwise. And even if they do, they've got Gary, Akine in the 2-story. There's no easy path here for the likes of Mancos, but...
Yeah, I mean, Goeco, I was going to say maybe getting punished by Dax on the rotation, but he seems to be aware of the fact that Dax is on the main floor of this warehouse, but no, Dax is just passing through. Not trying to catch off Goeco, I don't think. With the smoke, so trying to cover his cross, and Goeco's not going to get covered, but Hakaini is there, and unbeknownst to Dax, it's suddenly a 4-on-1.
Yeah, and Loyal Dogs have done a good job of setting up their defense so that it covers all these other these other angles. Even though Gauco is pushed forward, they still have the defense watching angles that Gauco should catch out before anybody even gets there. For Hakaini to be watching that line, I think it is good communication. Gauco probably heard the footsteps underneath him, said there's someone moving here, and, good comms, the key to a top-tier team playing well here. And oh my goodness, that nade almost got him out. I thought the nade was what did it, but Gauco just scoops him up with the 8KM, and 4 out of 5 kills coming in there for Gauco to get them up 3-1.
Yeah, what an incredible round from Goeco. I mean, yeah. Just some great stuff. I mean, if you simply just look at the scoreboard, right, you can see how much more effective the Loyal Dogs are.
Yeah.
Collectively, they've died 3, 6, 9 times. Everyone's died 4 times for MANCOSVR.
Yeah.
It just shows the efficacy of Loyal Dogs. They keep on rotating. They keep on finding. I know I keep on hammering the point of rotations, but they're relying on each other. We saw it right there in the last instance. It was a perfect example where, as you say, Goeco probably heard the footsteps, communicated with his teammate, didn't want to go for the solo play, didn't want to be the hero, just said, hey, there's someone probably here, and they caught out Dax. And just like that, suddenly the 4v1 is no hope for MANCOSVR, and 3-1 is the score.
Yeah, and it's like it's really, I think you're seeing kind of a bit of both worlds from Loyal Dogs. They are staying disciplined on their positions. They're staying where they need to be, but they are also fluid in those positions. Gauco being able to swing and cover several different angles, kind of almost a point defender, while the rest of the team holds their lines and relies on the communication and depends on that communication to really be effective. It's a effective combination from the Loyal Dogs that's coming through here, at least so far in map 1. It's always important to remind ourselves that this is Loyal Dogs map pick as well, so it's the place that they feel the most comfortable on. And so, if we already start thinking about map number 2, that will be Mancos' choice, and maybe close quarters is going to be the answer for Mancos. I'm not sure quite yet, because it feels like, Loyal Dogs have got some really good long-range picks coming through so far.
But I mean, it is worth noting that MANCOSVR, I mean, we noted specifically last attacking round, or the first attacking round they had, they had a really good strat that typically would work for close quarters, but, doesn't quite work on this larger map. So, I mean, anything can happen in this round 4 and in map 2, because as you say, this game is far from over, but it is a best of 7, so this is potentially map point here for Loyal Dogs.
Yeah, and Luke, welcome to Onward. Math is never our strong point. You have to do it and then add another one. So actually into round 5, we got 4 on the board.
You know what? You are correct.
It's a struggle as old as time for all Onward casters. Okay, our math is never the strong point. Doing that quick math can be tough. Yeah, and you're fortunate that we haven't had a cap come through, because then, oh boy, you're really adding and subtracting on the fly. But a little bit of setup phase here for the Loyal Dogs as they work their way into position. A little bit of a overcommitment, it feels like, from the west side. A little bit too far in front of the rest of the team as they're still rotating around. You see that big south swing coming through. This objective, definitely a hard one to defend, so I don't envy Mancos being put into this position to basically, like you said, potentially hold on to the map point here. Deny Loyal Dogs the opportunity of securing this one and moving on. Definitely not going to be easy.
It certainly won't. I mean, Mancos, if I do believe, I don't know, Hakaini is doing work on Asturias, and Asturias is going to go down for the count. So already, again, a Loyal Dogs numbers advantage, which they seem to be doing round after round.
Yeah.
Just really strong positioning. But as you say, you know, this is their map pick, so dare I say it's to be expected here in this first map.
Yeah, and again, another range shot there coming in. You know, Hakain with that additional scope, finding those kills. Chewbacca springing up from the hole in the wall to catch one through that gap. Gary is still there, but it's not Gary they got to worry about. The shots coming in from behind as Donnie connects but cannot down Chewbacca. Oh, a near death there for them, but they tuck back in.
They tuck back in. Let's see if they can heal here in a second. I certainly expect them to. As Gary is still watching the angle, but as we see, I mean, he's already kind of repositioning a little bit, trying to see if, you know, he can catch off the re-peek, but Chewbacca, he ain't re-peeking unless he's from the second story. And Observe will actually catch him from behind. Dax, though, gonna find Donnie, so lots of trades here, and it's a 3-on-3.
Very good swing there from Dax. A key swing at that. That push was an attempted push to the corner for a cap. And so Dax saving the round for now. The trouble is that their position very known. You can see Hakain and Oxers both kind of looking for that refrag. And in addition, that south swing is coming in. I think they got to get that umlaut right. The Gatti, I believe, is coming in from that south.
Yeah, coming in from that south position now, but I mean, it's an even game. I want to look at the north more specifically. I want to see, you know, I think this is in Gary's hands, going for the smoke, trying to get the cross. Will he go for it, though? No, he's taking some time, but Dax is going to come investigate. Maybe? No. Okay. So trying to draw out some, you know, eyeballs, as Hakaini is going to try to peek this on the north side, and maybe he can catch out the rotations from Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie on a big rotation, almost catches Hakain swinging here. Definitely not aggression that Hakain or Oxers were expecting on this corner, but they're ready. A great flash catches Bernie out, and Bernie just swings blind to catch two. Wow, that flash, I'm certain, blinded Bernie. I can't imagine that they pushed that being able to see, but I truly think they just blind fired that corner. A great play there. And it all comes down to Gary trying to swing in from this south side again. I think undetected. I doubt that Scassi or Dax are really anticipating Gary to be here. And Gary actually may be able to find Scassi down to that bottom story, and they do. And now it's a 1v1. Dax actually out of position, has to rotate back. And a bit of a pause. Gary may actually swing for the res.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but it seems, yeah, no, I think he is going to go for the res, but that means Dax knows where to go, assuming his team communicated it. So Gary pushing through the building. He will find his teammate. The question is, will he find Dax as well?
I think Dax is controlling on objective, and actually Gary is gonna go for this objective push. Dax is holding in the right position, waiting for Gary to peek there. Spots the peek. Gary goes for it and finds the kill. Clutches the round and the map for Loyal Dogs. Doesn't get that res, says I'll take care of the job myself, and flies out to lock in map 1, 4-1.
Wow. Wow, what a phenomenal effort there from Gary. You know, getting only 2 kills. This whole
that was one thing I was going to talk about when you were talking about the KD feed. Everyone was looking good, but Gary was 0-1. You know, not to say... That's a really interesting kill feed. That means they didn't. Not only did they not die, but they didn't kill anybody. So they were simply just holding their angle and never running into any action.
Exactly, and that does not show a lack of effort or skill because Gary, I mean, I like to talk about impact frags, right? That was huge impact. Those 2 kills earning that map victory is, I mean, you can't ask for any more impact despite being the lowest, scorer in terms of kills in the team. But nevertheless, I mean, phenomenal job across the board. VR Loyal Dogs do take their map pick in convincing fashion 4-1, but as you say, there's still potentially 2 more maps to play.
Yeah, we may be into a lobby rehost here as well, which does indicate that it could be a custom map. And if we look at our bans, sand is off that map pool, and so it could be the likes of Quest or Shipyard that we're headed to. And if it's Quest, that would make, I think, the most sense in my mind. Luke, if you're not in the know, you have to hold space and exit to main menu up in the top right, and then we have to join our next lobby.
I am waiting. Appreciate it.
Either way, yes, we are waiting to see what this map number 2 is going to be. I'm going to guess Quest is where we're headed.
For the close quarters?
Yeah, that would make the most sense. But we'll have to see where the Mancos want to take us. And of course, there is multiple options here. Mancos do have the map pick. They can also choose sides. So if they're just kind of feeling comfortable on all the maps and they want to take that potential Volk advantage, they can say, we're just going to start on Volk and you can choose the map. That rarely does happen. Most teams prefer to take a map that they're comfortable in, but we'll have to see. I'm just taking a look now at the information I'm getting coming in here from the Loyal Dog squad. So bear with us as we sort these tech issues, but the lobby should be up shortly, and I guess a moment to shout out everyone tuning in. All right, Luke, we appreciate all of the folks stopping by, hanging out in this channel. If you are new, hit that follow button. We do cast games regularly here for the VRML, and we'll be looking to onboard more new casters. So if you are also interested in becoming a caster, you can head on over to vrml.com/onward and click on the register. You can fill out that Universal Production Application app. That will be reviewed, and you could be finding yourself behind this desk with me or Luke or any one of our lovely VRML casters and casting some high-quality VRML action. So be sure to check that out if you're interested. Also, subscribe to the YouTube and follow twitch.tv/VRMasterLeague. It is our other VR channel where we broadcast games on the weekends over onto that channel, onto YouTube, Facebook, and venues. It is sort of our weekend broadcast space. If we have more than one weekend game, more than 2 weekend games, those will be brought here. But go over there, follow that channel as well. If you don't know what Venues is, I recommend also, if you have a Quest or Quest 2, to go download Horizon Venues. And you can watch these games in a massive movie theater-like screen with other people. It's a really cool way to watch the action. Of course, not now, but on the weekends. You can check that out. And if you don't know when the games are, last but not least, you can follow the social media. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook to know when games are going live. You have also seen the Discord link in the pre-show. It's been linked in chat. Join the Discord. There's lots of ways to stay involved. And if you want to branch out, you can find our other games available as well. Echo Arena, Pavlov. We have other active leagues, and Luke hails from the Echo Arena League. So definitely a lot of esports action that you can catch if you want it.
There certainly is. I mean, VRML is really great for that across all the games.
Yeah.
How much do we cast the other
Pavlov is just getting into casting their games, and we've started to build that team. And so hopefully with the new season coming up for Pavlov, we'll be seeing a little bit more Pavlov casting regularly over there. But yeah, it's really just been Echo Arena and Onward. Snapshot has also cast games in the past. But yeah, the big two, I suppose, would be Echo and Onward for the VRML for sure.
All right, well, It did come up the next server, so we are going to go to Sand.
I know, I was wrong because it is Sand, which was banned, but Sand Night has not been. And so as we joined this lobby, it's kind of a little something for us to chew on. I don't think I've ever seen Sand Night even played. I don't even think we have a unique graphic for it. I don't think we have unique graphics for any of the night maps now that I actually think about it. But Sand Night getting picked here. I don't even know what to really expect out of this one. It's a different map. Well, at least it's been updated significantly since its time last played in the VRML. And yeah, this should be... I don't think... yeah, this is a... Sand has gotten a complete overhaul from... I mean, a lot of these spaces familiar, but a lot of new spots on Sand. And I wonder if maybe teams aren't even aware of all this new... Or maybe that's why I've seen it banned so much. Teams are afraid of so much variety here. You know, it's hard to approach something new like this, and maybe this is kind of the play for Mancos. You know, they are going up against a team that they have had a tough time with. Loyal Dogs have been around for a while as well. You know, multiple seasons in the VRML, while Mancos have come in season 10. And so, you know, we've seen... this is kind of a theme from new teams. They'll pick a map that is off meta, that is rarely chosen, and develop strats where they can try and beat teams that maybe are higher in rank than they are. Not to say that the Loyal Dogs are here, but they definitely need a map that they can play and they know confidently. And well, this definitely seems to be one potential way to throw off this squad. I think what is interesting though is that if I got my bans, I want to double check this now because they...
Can they play
Oh, they banned Quest. They banned Quest. I apologize for having the ban wrong.
Ah, okay. That makes
sense. Yeah, I was so confused. I didn't think they would be able to play a night map of a map that was banned. So apologies to all those that are probably screaming at their screen, submitting tickets to the mods. The away ban is Quest. Not sure where I got that info mixed up, but custom map's a custom map, I suppose. USS Quest off the table there for that ban from Mancos. And Sand is where we're headed, but nighttime for round number 1 of map 2. Mancos' pick. They go on the offense. Let's see what we get as we dive into the action.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, definitely choosing that Marsoc is certainly what we expect. Is what I would expect to call their specialty. And we already see the clumping action. The firefights already going off. But the question is, can they take advantage of a Dax? No, going to get caught out by Glecko. But Scassi there to trade, and already Marsoc, Mancos, 4-4.
Oh, you had it right also. Marsoc also. But, yeah, Mancos able to refrag there, and that could have been devastating. There was kind of like a dark push coming in. They were, I wouldn't say undetectable, but definitely blending into the shadows as they worked their way up through the center. And this is sort of the danger of Sand. This is why I also think teams don't like it, is because some teams prefer the chaos, but it's chaotic and it's very fast action right out the gate. It's very unlike Quarantine in that you'll be running into the team as soon as you want to, really. If you want to cross the wall, you can run right into a spawn, as we did see out the gate there. But now as everybody tucks in, it slows down just a touch. But even then, Bernie is still hunting and nearly finding some angles there. Oxer's taking some shots, and they can't connect. Bernie wins that firefight.
Bernie, I mean, beautiful positioning. I mean, he potentially can pick up Gary and Scassi and Asturis supporting. And just like this, I mean, we can definitely see the advantage of, you know, that map pick. Don't want to call my chickens too early, though, as it's just a 4v3 right now. As Mancos is moving up, trying to maybe, does Scassi know that there's 2 players there? Certainly not. He's on top of Hakaini. Will he catch out Gary? Absolutely not. Gary down, Scassi, just like that.
Ooh, and, you know, those walls penetrable. That metal not perfect. Gary goes down. Hakai's still there underneath the ramp and undetected as they scoop up another important kill. The on-objective defense getting whittled down forces the rotation from Donnie, and we're into a 2v2.
Yeah, sure is around these double doors. Almost has an angle on Hakai, if only he had X-ray enabled.
Yeah.
But Donnie is watching it well. But I mean, this double doors here on the north side are unguarded, as we do see Chewbacca slowly rotating, perhaps.
Yeah. I think they're going to try and potentially get up onto that 2-story, or or maybe even work their way into the middle building there and be looking down. Donnie actually thinks there's some action over on the other side of the wall. Flashes up and over, but doesn't full send. And I think they had Astur's flashed, and now in this darkness, I mean, geez, they are going to be hard to identify for Astur's when they push in here, unless they got night vision on, which they do.
It looks like he has the night vision, so we'll be able to see. Here we go. Oh, the pre-fire. It doesn't matter. Donnie is getting those. And just like that, Loyal Dogs looking to continue the momentum from map 1. Currently, 2v1.
Yep, definitely looking to kick their lead up another notch. Continue to ride that momentum. But Chewbacca, if they have anything to say about it, will be able to deny this push out from Donnie. Donnie really playing these walls and these corners well. I don't even think they heard Chewbacca over here. I think it's just, there might be someone there. I'll slow it down if I can. And sure enough, Chewbacca has to kind of take a pause and can't really commit to this full send. They are going to be dropping off this ledge soon enough to approach Donnie. And I don't... Yeah, there's the safe drop. It's certainly risky to be jumping off the edge there. Donnie, I think, here's that drop down and swings to it. The trade leaves Loyal Dogs with one left alive on objective. And LD take the round. I don't think they were down one either. I think that disconnect happened after the round, but still.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, can they pause? Is there a pause feature? I don't think so, right?
Yeah, they have the option to call a timeout, and they can stop the timer from ticking. And so we could be into a brief timeout as that fifth reconnects. But I don't imagine it'll be very long because, like we're saying here, Loyal Dogs have a lot of momentum. Yeah, quickly back in. They have a lot of momentum working for them right now. You know, they are 5-1 points rounds won so far, and they've just taken a lead on Sand, which is Mancos' map pick. But I don't know. Maybe we're in for some trading of Volk rounds too. You know, that's certainly how it sort of looked. It might be for Quarantine. Of course, who knows? You know, the first few rounds are always tough to judge how the rest of the series, the rest of that map is going to shake out. It's really just teams kind of poking and prodding at each other, seeing what they're going to do, and then you start to see the unique plays come out once everyone gets comfortable.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. What's also fair is I do believe they traded early rounds as well in the first map.
Yep.
If I remember, I think Mancos may have taken round 1. If I remember correctly, it was defenders winning.
Yep.
And I believe they were, but they didn't win any other rounds. So maybe they can pull the same thing here from VR Loyal Dogs. Sure, VR Loyal Dogs won round 1, got some confidence, you know, pat on the back, you know, good job Loyal Dogs. But Mancos, I mean, coming back fiercely, potentially in this second round. But man, I mean, I want to think about objectives for a second, right? So obviously the move around, you know, depending on the round. I mean, what are the current challenges of kind of this objective being in the garage?
Yeah, this one's super toxic, I would say, or volatile for our first objective of this round. You know, there's a lot of much safer, less chaotic objectives to be played. This one really is the one that you almost are guaranteed action right out of the gate on the round. At least that's the way it used to be. Now that there are some several more spawns available for the likes of the Marsoc side, Loyal Dogs actually do get this outside spawn. And I wonder what their plan is going to be. They can kind of spread a little bit. They can work their ways around to other entry points to the outside. It really actually does change a lot of the pacing of this objective. And curious to see how Manco's set up, seemingly ready for that spawn.
Yeah, very ready for that spawn. Bernie, I mean, finding it off, trying to 4v4 from Gueco, but not going to connect there. But just like that, I mean, early firefights, as you said, and Mancos takes the early numbers advantage, something that we saw Loyal Dogs do a lot in map 1. But Donnie's quickly rotating around these buildings. Can he find the angle on Bernie? Maybe, as he does go to the second story now.
Yeah.
He's peeking. Question is, does he see anything? He sees something, and he sees Bernie. And just like that, it's a 4v4.
Dax does rotate there, and I think Donnie was not expecting 2 to be inside that room, but does spot Dax swinging around inside, and could be another kill scooped up here if Donnie is fortunate.
Firing, but not quite seeing where Donnie was. Maybe a missed call out there from his teammates, so Donnie is able to pick up 2. And Loyal Dogs, I mean, they're looking strong here as they completely do clear out this building right next to the objective, but we still have Chewbacca, Sturis, and Scassi waiting to defend.
Yep, positioned and ready for the likes of the on-objective push. But of course, Loyal Dogs have done a good job of really surrounding this objective. It's just now a matter of executing on that surrounding, of getting everybody into the same position at the same time. That is the toughest challenge of coordinating. And you're in the dark, so team kills definitely viable if you don't know where everyone is and have active comms going. Loyal Dogs have been good with their communication, though, and so I presume that they are aware of this, of the timing here, and it's just going to come down to how they execute on that timing.
Yeah, I mean, Donnie going for a really interesting flank here. Still no one's seen. He could potentially catch out Osiris, and does, just like that, but he's going to quickly reposition. We saw that in map 1 time and time again. Donnie's doing the same. Now, Osiris and Gueco is going to maybe push in through this one story. Gueco, do they find the angle on Scassi? No. But Chewbacca, here's Osiris looking at double doors, but the question is, who is going to lose their patience first?
Oh.
And well, it's going to be Hikaini just peeking, and Osiris is just bait.
Yeah, and Mancos are finding themselves in a tough position as Donnie's tablet out, looking for the cap. A good denial, at least, from Scassi of 2 points coming in there from Loyal Dogs. That would have been devastating. 3-0 lead here would not have been how Mancos want this to start off on their map pick. 2-0 certainly isn't how they want it to start off either, so Scassi going to try and clutch up here, but...
Oh, no way. No way. No way! Scassi gets 1v1 Hikaini. He does get 2. I thought it was 2.
Yeah.
But I just was glitched. Anyway, but Hikaini is in the building. Who is going to peek first?
There's tablet out. They're punching in the code behind the table here. 2 points getting locked in, and Scassi cannot clutch it for Mancos. Loyal Dogs have a comfortable lead as that cap gets entered in behind the table.
That is so frustrating to watch if you are a MANCOSVR fan, because oh my goodness, Scassi popping off, but not omniscient, unfortunately, so not able to find anyone else. But 3-0. Loyal Dogs, oh my goodness, what a round.
Yeah, and again, the momentum here just super heavy in the Loyal Dogs' favor. Mancos getting tested through and through in this series. They've had no easy rounds given to them at any point. And now backs against the wall. Series on the line here. Loyal Dogs could come away with 2 quick maps and just work right on into that third map that they get to choose. And so a lot to fight for here for Mancos. Obviously to take us to that map 3 decider. But we will still play out that third map for those not in the know. Regardless of the outcome, that third map gets played for rounds 1. If, of course, Mancos want to, they can forfeit that third map as well, which is an immediate 4-0. But it's an opportunity to kind of lighten the damage done to your rank. You know, if you can win that third map, it's still super beneficial to your overall MMR gain and loss. And so, yeah, it's we don't want to look forward to that yet. Definitely going to keep presume that Mancos can bounce back here with the same spawn. We'll see if Mancos can put up a Marsoc round themselves and start a bit of a comeback here for map number 2.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, well, I look forward to that third map because Mancos is going to win map 2, and so it'll be the decider. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, NightFiree. But, man, here we go. It is still the series point, as it is going to be some quick action. It's 5 people in a row trying to go for that arrowhead strategy. Can they find Oxurus in the building next to them? They certainly hear them. They're peeking. They're flashing. They're shooting. And they're not winning. Dax getting one Bernie. Dax getting a friendly fire, actually. Does get Hakaini down and out. But just like that, it's already a 3v2. And Mancos, numbers disadvantage.
Yeah, Bernie could get res. Scassi, I think, has the ability to swing around that corner and pick up Bernie. I don't even know how that team kill came through. You know, either way, now the res unavailable as Gary throws a great nade. Man, that was perfectly placed to finish that kill.
Oh, man. All right. I mean, Loyal Dogs looking to, you know, just push through and be very, very disciplined in this one.
Yep.
As Scassi and Asturis are moving in. Still the same side, still not repositioned. I mean, I've said it a lot, but you know, they're still pushing from the same angle, not trying to rotate around, not trying to counter rotate to anything that Loyal Dogs could do. So they're slowly crawling forward. Scassi trying to clear out this building. No one's home, so he's not going to find any angles there. So Asturis maybe the one to watch, as a Donnie is not too far away, as he is going to find Gecko actually by the Humvee, and just like that, it's a 2v2.
A huge pickup. Gecko was tracking Asturis' position that entire time. They saw that rotation. They saw the peaks. Couldn't connect. Of course, Donnie's tucked into a late position that Asturis is not ready for. And we're now into a 1v2. Yeah, Donnie's positioning is definitely risky. It's out of objective building. If Gary goes down, Scassi is here for quite a while before Donnie can react in time. And so it's a position that was unexpected. I think they're anticipating both defenders to be inside here. Is Scassi anticipating Gary to be in this corner? That is the question.
Well, he's going for the smoke. Will he get followed up? Yes. But it's a fake. He wants to maybe get that information. Does he see Donnie? Yes, he does. But they trade, unfortunately. And Loyal Dogs, just like that, it's a clean sweep, Matt, too.
It was looking like the right play. The smoke seemed to be drawing the attention of Donnie, but a incredibly fast snapshot there from them to find that final kill. 7-2 at the end of that map 2 for Donnie as well. So a powerful scoreline that, dare I say, carried Loyal Dogs into that victory for map number 2. But super fast. I can't. That's what you get with sand. The map has changed, but it's what you get. Very fast, close quarters action. And it looks like I was also wrong on the home ban, as our third map is another map I had clocked as banned. I think the home ban was here. Abandoned. Yeah, I'm not sure where the bans that are displayed came from, but Abandoned is banned from them. So map number 3 can be Subway, which is what it is. Our third map, a bit of close quarters action there as well. And so I don't know if it's got, yeah, Loyal Dogs doing so well there on sand, figured, hey, let's just stick to this close quarters and go with Subway, a map that hopefully they can run away with again. Mancos, though, man, this is a tough series to battle through if you're the Mancos squad. You really have to dig deep to try and figure out what you can do differently to bounce back. And I think the key thing is that they're just getting picked early. You know, we've seen a lot of early picks come in that have set up Loyal Dogs for the extra player advantage.
Yeah, and that player advantage is more meaningful than anything else. Yeah. I couldn't agree more, though. I mean, I think taking a moment and slowing down that early round, you don't have to dive into it. You don't have to run into it. You know, take a second, try to figure out, suss out where people are. I mean, that's what we saw work for Marcos or Mancos, Manskos, however I say it. The point is that, that's what loyal dogs have been doing. I mean, maybe it's a strategy that it might be looked down upon of just like copy of the team, but seriously, I mean, take notes.
Oh, no.
Why are they winning? Well, we're pushing too fast. We have early numbers disadvantage. Okay, so if you have early numbers disadvantage, how do you stop that disadvantage? Well, play more patiently.
Yeah.
You have the full round. There's no reason to rush. You can take all the time in the world, and let's see if they can. But I mean, yeah, third map. So the series does go, as we said, to VR Loyal Dogs, but that MMR. That win-loss, that round ratio is so important. So let's see if Mancos can kind of stem the bleeding a little bit.
Indeed. We'll have to see if they can manage to bounce back from this rough first 2 maps. 8-1 right now, and I think it's been 8 unanswered points. To your point, Mancos securing their first round in map 1, and since then have not gotten on the board. So a lot of energy for Loyal Dogs right now, and like we said, a bit of time to sort of analyze and think what can we change so that this doesn't happen for this third map. And we'll see if Mancos can adjust. It's going to be tough as we go to a north side objective to kick off this this map, and this OBJ is oftentimes pretty dang crazy in terms of attacks and strategy, and so
yeah,
bit of a false start.
Insane. But yeah, up. Yeah,
you got baited into it.
For sure. They're restarting. Yeah, they bait us. It's okay. They want to give the casters something to talk about. What a dominant round for Mancos. I mean, wow. Only took 5 seconds. Well, you know what? I mean, if nothing else, the extra time. I mean, you have to think about the mental game, right? You have to think about, you're down 8 in a row. That sucks. There's no going about it. Like, it just sucks. But that all being said, I mean, the more time in between rounds, the better, as far as I look at it. You have time to breathe, take off your headset, go get some water, stretch for a second, come back, refreshed, renewed, and ready to win this round. Because, I mean, that MMR is so important, regardless of where you are on the ladder. I mean, whether you're at the top, whether you're at the bottom, I mean, every single round counts. Each round win is a victory. It's a little victory, and if you have more little victories than the other team, well, congratulations, you won. So nevertheless, I mean, I believe. I mean, I certainly think Mancos is definitely re-strategizing and trying to figure out, what is the play to really get this game and get this map to really go their way.
And, you're shining some light on an interesting motto that I heard being championed by. Gosh, I can't remember what the squad was, but every round's a win, and so it was an interesting thing they were saying, but it very much lends itself to that mindset where if you can win one round, that's big. It's not the whole map. It's let's win each individual round first, and it's kind of an interesting perspective too, coming from Echo Arena where a round is 10 minutes. One round here is 6, but we play so many more. Instead of 3 rounds, we're playing 7. Potentially, there's the timing is just a little bit different, but there too, obviously every round matters, especially in a best of 3, and so yeah, we'll see what Mancos can do. We are patiently waiting for the 5th of Loyal Dogs, and I'm going to see if we're getting any official timeout called or anything. Hopefully it isn't too long before we have that 5th back in action.
They're all in. It's 5v5.
And I have a UI bug.
Maybe I have the UI bug.
Maybe you do. One of us has the UI bug.
Regardless, I just want to iterate on the point of, it gives both these teams a moment to breathe.
Yeah, it does. It is a good.
It gives Loyal Dogs a moment to breathe, and maybe that means they come in refreshed and that much stronger to clean sweep another map from Manco. Or, it means that they cool down a bit, that they're feeling confident, that they're joking, that they're like, yeah, we got this, we won, let's just, play some, dumb strategies that maybe aren't the strongest, whatever, there is time. Okay, now, wait, I don't know. Well, going back in the action, so there we go. I don't know if someone disconnected or not, but regardless, What I do know is that this round is coming in hot with Mancos defending, VR Loyal Dogs attacking. And, man, let's see if Mancos can get a map victory.
Yeah, very curious to see what their defensive style is going to be. It could be a bit of counter-aggression, in which case they try and send Dax up through a catwalk approach and look for some early kills. It could be your standard setup, which it is looking like. They're going to put 3 onto the objective side, 2 to cover the south. And the question is, what is Loyal Dog's plan here? Oh, geez, Chewbacca.
Wow.
A little bit overextended. Just what we're talking about. That push out there is not necessary from Chewbacca. For them to be extending out that far is risky for that specific reason, and that Donnie can catch you out. And now again, Loyal Dogs have a advantage, and as I say that, Dax calls the advantage down. Oxter is looking for the refrag as Dax maybe not ready for 2 there.
Yeah, maybe not ready for 2, but does? You know, even up the score, and every point does count, as he is just waiting. Oxter is not too far away, but man, this map is small. As we are seeing still some really patient defense there on the objective, so this actually might mean that in flank, but no, lots of gunfire going on. Donnie trying to find the angle, trying to find that pressure, but still no peeking. Very disciplined play coming from Mancos.
Yeah, it's with this objective in particular, you really do. It's a very late stage objective. It's all about positioning for the offense, and very rarely about early picks for the defense. Oftentimes they are even more reserved. Dax being pushed up here is not necessarily a common position. I think it's why they got that pick unsuspecting. But, you know, everything else is pretty standard. Bernie's holding the last angle that they have to cross to get to the south.
Oxter's moving. Oxter's moving and catching out Dax. No way. That was high risk, but it was high reward. Oh my goodness. I mean, 3v4. I mean, do you think this map's close quartered enough that the numbers advantage doesn't matter too much?
With this objective, yeah, it's the question is how do you deal with Bernie, and if you can get rid of Bernie, then you're in good shape. You're in commanding shape to attack this objective. But Bernie is the key element now for how this push is shaping up, as Loyal Dogs aren't going to be entering in from the north. They're not going to be challenging those spots that Scassi and Asturias are defending from. And so how is it timed? You know, Loyal Dogs, again, to the point we were making earlier, are taking their time. They have 3 minutes left. They're not rushing up. They're not trying to charge into the objective yet. They're really clearing out methodically every little bit of potential defensive space before they commit to finally having to challenge the Bernie's angle. But it's a little bit of time before that happens. If anything, maybe about a minute, I think, before Loyal Dogs really try and commit. Maybe actually a bit faster, as they do catch Scassi on OBJ.
Yeah, and Donnie is going to get... Bernie is behind him. Bernie is in the position to strike right now. He finds Donnie. There's 2 more right on him. He gets 1 more. He gets Bernie, and it's suddenly a 2v1 for Loyal Dogs. Mancos potentially getting the revive.
Yep. Big pickup there. A nice trade for Oxers, but almost a big double would have been massive. Asturias, I think, is considering going for this res as that smoke comes in. And Scassi is resable, so that's a good smoke. Asturias could swing here.
It's scary. He's going to go for the slow swing. Obviously not knowing no one's home. Can he get there through? I mean, the smoke is fading soon, and Gary and Asturias are feeling confident. There's a nade. And that's how you win. In style, Asturias going away. And here are Loyal Dogs. Keep up that momentum. Now 9 rounds in a row.
That nade blasted him into the roof. A perfectly tossed nade onto the corner. And like you said, Loyal Dogs just running away with this series. 9 unanswered points in total. And Mancos are just having a tough one here. You know, it's sometimes this is how things go. You know, you have these series as you go up and down the ladder, especially early in the season, where you run into a team that is at a bit of a different skill level. Not to say that Loyal Dogs are at a completely different skill level. We've had some close rounds here. But you know, that is sort of the nature of the ladder, is as you win and are a Mancos aren't new, but relatively new. You know, season 10, you're still somewhat fresh in comparison to Loyal Dogs, who I think are joined since season 4. And so, you know, it's still stuff to be learned there, and I think maybe Mancos, as they continue to develop, are, you know, you run into more and more challenging teams. That's the beauty of the ladder, right? That's why teams come around season after season. Even though they maybe ended bronze after a season, they want to come back and try and get better and improve and go up the ladder a little bit higher, go up into silver, go up into gold, challenge each individual tier, and eventually work their way up to the top. It's I really do love the MMR system that we have, and I do really like the ranking system that ultimately does curate really good, fun, competitive matchups. And you know, we're still early in the season, and so we still do have games that do end with score lines like this sometimes. But I'm very much still looking forward to the rest of this map to see what Mancos can do, but also the future games this week and this season. Season 12 is going to be super exciting to watch who will come out on top. I really just do not know what our top 10 is going to look like.
Yeah, it certainly will be. Always exciting to see that top 10. How do I refresh my spectator screen? Because I have VR Loyal Dog stuck in my UI.
I think if you hit a tab or escape.
Oh, you're right. I got it. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Well, it's a new round, and it seems that Mancos have finally slowed it down.
Well, you say that, but they are all stacked up here onto the north side, getting ready to make this what is ultimately an aggressive north push, but it's the right move. Oddly enough, Loyal Dogs have not stacked this north side heavily enough. You have to invest 2-3 defenders sometimes into protecting this north side because of this dangerous push that could happen that Mancos are trying to execute on. There could be a cap in store if they get control of this north side. And here comes the push.
Yeah, there's Gueco is the one to watch right now. And defend it. Well, he's gonna get one through the smoke, I think. Gary's now rotating as well. The nade is good for him. Not so good for Gueco. Gueco getting spammed. Still not out. As Gary does get one. And he's down to himself. That's going to be a bad nade throw. As it is going to be a Mancos.
Oh, another big nade.
Gueco, what a nade. Oh my goodness.
Coming in. Gassie's punching in code. Donnie is flying around the corner. He shuts down one. Asturs is tablet out as well. Both have their tablet. The res comes in. Gary's up. Asturs is the last alive. They catch one. They catch two. Gary goes down. Hakine comes flying around the corner. There's a nade, and Asturs drops back. We're into a chaotic 1v2. Asturs has to reload. Can't get the gun to shoot as everyone is challenging Asturs. Another dead mag. They are flashed now. And oh my goodness, the chaos on the corner.
The chaos on the corner is still true. And we are going to get the revives as well from Uxers onto Gueco. So just like that, I mean, Mancos looking rough here. Some hope there for a second. Yeah. But now with Dax getting knifed, I mean, it's a 3v1.
They almost had the cap. They had two tablet out punching in code against that wall. Loyal Dogs defense scrambling to get back and defend. Hakine unfortunately running into several empty mags in their belt that they can't find any purchase with, and as Bernie swings around and rejoins the fray from preventing the flank, they managed to catch one, but it is a down again, not a full kill. Loyal Dogs seemingly benefiting heavily from these downs that they have managed to get the reses off of.
Yeah, and I mean, smartly reviving, but also smartly rotating. So Mancos finally, you know, maybe today stealing some tricks out of the book of Loyal Dogs. But nevertheless, I mean, unfortunately, because it was a down, not an out, it's 3v1 still. Yeah. The 2v1 certainly more favorable for the side of Bernie, for Mancos. As they go for the long rotate, this ain't no chump. As we're halfway through this round, I mean, there's still hope. There's still hope for Mancos.
See a very active chat. I hope everyone is having a good time and being friendly. Everyone Enjoy your time hanging out here, catching the action. Certainly is, again, a good performance from this Loyal Dog squad, but we'll see what Bernie can do. Like you said, this rotation, an interesting one. To come in from the south after so much pressure in the north may be expected, but they got a lot. They still have enough time. 2 minutes to work with. They can push in from the south. The Kine is watching loosely on this side. I don't know. Maybe the south approach is the right way, because then you have to actually, again, rotate around the corners, and Bernie could just kind of pre-fire into it. You know, we'll have to see. It's all a matter of if Bernie can first find Hakan, if they're going to come in from the south side.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's his game, or his round, rather, to win or lose. As he's just slowly peeking. No one is south. He is, you know, very carefully, very cautiously checking the south side. So he's going to call it clear. Now peeking north. Peeking where all the action was,
Oh my
where all the
goodness.
people are. And he's just waiting. He's playing that patient game. He has 60 seconds left on the clock. He's shooting, but Akaini finds the angle, and just like that, 2-0. Well done.
10 unanswered points now. And a solid, again, performance coming from them on that second round. We go to a basement objective, a tough one to cap, just to, unlike that north objective, which I have seen capped plenty of times, this one rarely does get capped. And so I don't know if Loyal Dogs will be able to secure map 3 just yet. If anything, Mancos have an opportunity to put another point on the board here on this defensive round. All you have to do is tuck in. On this objective in particular, the real good strat is to just stay in the basement. It works for a lot of teams where they'll invest all 5 in committing to defending entry from the 3 entryways into the basement, the 2 stairs and the backside entry. That's where all you really have to protect from. Of course, the attacking style is to smoke those, coordinate your push from multiple angles, and sort of counter the full defense of Send in the basement. But that's the nature of Onward, the back and forth, what plays are executed and who can do them better. And I really just think that if Mancos can avoid losing one early, they'll be in a much better position for their defensive rounds.
Yeah, I mean, let's see if they can. I mean, wow. I mean, it is the teamwork, man. I mean, like, the teamwork that we're seeing from VR Loyal Dogs, like the revives. I think Akaini was also the one that was revived from Gueco last round. Oh, yeah. And as a result, he won the round. I mean, it's literally like these little mistakes that Mancos are making that Loyal Dogs were able to just absolutely punish. But, as you say, new round, as we do have spawns in coming all the way from the west. So it's Loyal Dogs' round to win, and it's Mancos' round to lose, but I certainly believe that this can be the round to break the streak.
Yeah, it certainly should be, and we'll see as we get into the action. Round number 3. You do the math. Kicking off here, no caps coming through. And I am liking what I'm seeing from this defense right now. The only one real risk is that early investment from Chewbacca.
Yeah. And Chewbacca, I mean, he saw what Loyal Dogs were able to do in this hallway last time.
Yeah.
And maybe wanting to get in on that action, as it might actually pay off, but he's looking the wrong way as Oxurs is flanking behind him. Maybe hearing those footsteps as Oxurs is pushing up this far eastern hallway. He's open, but he's also watching the angle, so don't peek, Chewbacca. Do not do it. Oxurs is here. Uh-oh. But it's going to do it. And just like that, Oxurs is going to down Chewbacca, but he's not out yet. Is he going to follow it up? Probably, but...
yeah, eventually they will. The res certainly is not going to be coming through. All 4 are in the basement. And so unless they want to challenge Donnie, they're not going to have an easy time. And Chewbacca calls out the last bit of information he can to this team. There's, I would assume, 2 in that catwalk instead of just 1. And that is that, the extended defense. Take a look at what the rest of this offense is doing here. You've got 2 in the basement, Gary and Guauco. Just kind of waiting for the rest of Loyal Dogs to set up for the entry. It's the setup phase before they get to that attack where they approach from all 3 entry points.
I really hope so, man. I mean, I really want Mancos to win this round. You say it's the best chance. I agree. Yep. I mean, I think this is the round that will either break it and it'll be a 4-0 for VR Loyal Dogs, or Mancos can maybe claw back, a few rounds and maybe even win the map. But Dax is waiting not too far away from Donnie. As we do have a bit of a crossfire here, but on the other side of the map, Gary finds Scassi. Unfortunately, it's a down. He's not out just yet, but I mean, he might as well be as Gary finishes the job. And just like that, 5v2. I mean, Mancos is just getting picked apart one by one by the 2-player advantage of Loyal Dogs. They seem to always be moving in pairs, and that seems to be working out very well for them.
The only pair that's not only person not in a pair is Donnie here, who has been making themselves known with some smokes and some different utility tosses here. And Dax is dialed into the corner. Donnie catches the elbow first. Another pickup off the entry coming in from this squad. And here come the smokes in the south. Bernie catches Donnie trying to make their way. The Stewards can't avoid the frag onto the corner. Loyal Dogs are looking good with 4 left alive. Of course, the cap going to be near impossible, as Bernie is there and waiting on the corner. And so I think the most Loyal Dogs will get here is 1, but round's not done yet, and there's still 4 left alive here as utility come flying towards Bernie's direction.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, at the very least, you know where they're coming from. Nobody's flanking Bernie right now. Oxur is potentially in the future, but Gary's just going to go for the peak. Here we go, Bernie. It's your time to shine. Can you get 1? Well, you can get 1. But unfortunately, Gary will trade you, and just like that, 3-0. Loyal Dogs take it.
Let's take a look at the one thing I'm kind of curious. Where are the connoisseur votes lying in this series? Loyal Dogs were favored 33-13, and so I guess the folks on the old, yeah, the chat, the community is right. They know what they're looking at least for this matchup. As Loyal Dogs near map 3 victory here, the full sweep, as you say, is what they are on track for here, and we'll see how Loyal Dogs defend this objective. I'm curious to see if they will get aggressive, because now it's almost hard not to. You have you've won the series, you have a comfortable lead on this 3rd map. If anything, Mancos have to kind of be anticipating maybe a little bit of aggression from this defensive side, because they may just be kind of looking to lock in this map 3 with this final round here.
Potentially, right? But Mancos, maybe that's what they're used to, right? I mean, as you said, Loyal Dogs are more of an experienced team. Maybe Mancos expecting early aggression, so maybe if Loyal Dogs change up their pace, they can get punished, and Mancos can maybe find this round of victory. But it just seems in this setup phase here, Loyal Dogs consolidating in a couple different groups, as they have been doing, and it's going to be different groups this time with Donnie and Hakaini pairing up. And the 3 others, Guaco, Oxur is still staying in spawn. And Gary, just a very spread out defense here on the side of Oak, as we are seeing a bit of the same strategy of pairs up for Marcos in a 2-2-1 split.
I want someone to write down how many different ways you've pronounced Mancos today. I think it's at least 10.
Probably. At least.
No, it's all good. Either way, they are, like you said, paired up, pushing in. The trouble is Gary is upstairs here and manages to kick it off with an early kill. Dax not able to get that refrag. But now that Gary's position is known, you see the shift. Hakain catches Chihuahua out, and Mancos can't even get down into the first floor as both Hakain and Gary wreak havoc. Gary down there by Dax, fortunately enough, and so maybe Mancos can get control of the top floor. Hakain has to go down next. As the nade comes in, it does not catch him. Hakain applying the pressure.
Yeah, applying the pressure. Dax finally getting 1 and getting 2. Is Hakaini, as Asuras trades with him, but it's not looking good here. I mean, the spread out defense, the spread out the strategy, the meta game of Loyal Dogs in this matchup just seems next level. Yeah. It just seems that they have a plan of action. They're implementing that plan to almost perfection. Yep. While Mancos are just in Loyal Dogs' world. I mean, But
that's true.
Never count out Dax. Never count out Dax. I mean, Dax currently, but trying to break 2 on 3. Not bad, not bad. And Burn the only one on his team a little bit higher. So certainly doing some work here in this rounds as Dax tries to find one, but he's just moving up around this around the platform. No one's really here with him except for who's that? Hakani? Is that Hakani on the far side? That's his downed body though. So,
yeah, it is.
So he has some space. Let's see how he does with it.
Yeah, they have space. The trouble is if Hakani does see this slow crawling to the stairs, it's going to be communicated to the rest of the team.
No one turned.
Yeah, I don't think it has been. The next sort of pass is that Gauko may be able to hear the footsteps, in which case they'll rotate back. And even then, they are seemingly rotating back, and we could be running into a firefight soon here.
Yeah, Dax waiting, probably hearing the steps of Gauko, who's making tons of noise, but he could be baiting out for a shot from Xurs, but no, Xurs is not looking behind him. So Dax turning in his direction of Gauko. Can he find the angle? Well, there's no angle to be found right now, but Gauko is re-peeking. Dax, this is the moment. This is your moment. Who is going to peek first? Well, it's certainly not going to be Gauko, who also is just kind of hampering down. But the re-peek's coming through as Dax turns away, and that's favorable. But no, not quite connecting on the shot.
Ooh. Dax clutching it in, locking in the elbow. He begins their advancement up to objective. Oxers undetected as Dax, maybe feeling a bit overconfident, flies around the corner. And the final round locked in here for Loyal Dogs as they take map 3 4-0.
12 in a row.
Yeah, you're right. After that first loss, Loyal Dogs turned it on.
12 in a row.
They did not allow a single point to be caught back. And a tough pill to swallow for the likes of Mancos. But I think if anything, you go back, review the footage. There's a lot to be learned. They played well in a lot of rounds. They brought it close in several of those rounds and just couldn't finish on the execution there. I think there's a lot to be learned from the Loyal Dog style too. That patience, finding those early picks. Just really a good, like you said, methodical game played by Loyal Dogs. They had their plans in place and they executed on them very well on defense and offense. And it's what you'd expect out of a team that's been around for so long. And, it's kind of what you get out of Animal House as well. They won their game yesterday. They're also a team that's been around for a while, and these squads are proving that, having that map knowledge pays off. At the same time, we are seeing a lot of the new teams also excelling. Some Season 11, Season 10 squads that are challenging teams up at the top. And so, like I said, Season 12, just going to be super fun to tune into. But that is the end of the action here for us today. A quick shout out to all of our sponsors that do come together to offer prizing for our champions at the end of the season. VRML, obviously contributing to the prize pool. VR Cover, VR Wear, Asterion, HyperX, as you see the HyperX Quadcast S being casted to you. That's where you hear my lovely voice. And also our newest edition, Border Foods. If you want to know more about Border Foods, you can do !Border Foods in chat, or you can go to borderfoods.com/VRML. They are one of the largest Taco Bell franchises in the Midwest. They have fantastic working wages, scholarship opportunities, and career paths. If you're looking to get involved, head on over to, again, borderfoods.com/VRML. Any final thoughts, Luke?
Man, my last final thoughts is, I mean, definitely congratulations to VR Loyal Dogs, but also, I mean, you know what? When you are able to face these, experienced teams, there's so much to learn. Yeah. So I really hope Mancos does, take some time, review the footage. If anyone's reporting in game, review your own footage, how you can do better. But because I think this is just the beginning, right? Loyal Dogs, they've been around the block, so just the beginning for Mancos. I'm excited where they can go. But yeah, I mean, absolute phenomenal game from Loyal Dog, nevertheless. And, they certainly went the distance, 12 in a row there. 12-1 final overall. But, man, what a great first cast for here on Luke. Yeah, happy to have you on board, Luke. Hopefully we'll see more of you on the casting desk as we get deeper into this season. But, like I said, that'll be it for us here for now. My name's Ben NightFiree with 2 E's, my co-caster 1UC. We'll see you all maybe tomorrow, but definitely this weekend, 6 p.m. PST over at twitch.tv/VRML on Saturday, 12 p.m. PST on Sunday. Don't miss out on the action. And until then, stay classy.